Hey, what's up, Kimberly? Thanks for stopping in. Just getting a few things ready and got some updates and some things to show off, so just kind of thumbing through some of these new prints here. I'll try and keep my eyes on chat, and the connections might not be that great, so I'll probably trim Instagram and Facebook after a little while, and we'll switch over to YouTube to do some painting. But super exciting day. We had a huge mail day and received a bunch of prints, all new. And I can't wait to show them off. Heck yeah. I'm chilling like a villain, eating some pizza flavored Chex Mix. Just taking a little bit of my sweet time before we get started with some painting. And I'll have to figure out a new camera angle or two. Got another big reveal coming up. Yeah, oh, what's up, Brian? How you doing, man? Thanks for jumping on, dude. Just trying to show off some new wares and get the word out about some things. It's an exciting day. Look what we got. Whoa. Isn't that gonna be fun? That's the counter protester. Maybe we'll hook this thing up with some stickers on the stream tonight. So I'm totally planning on starting on a new painting with everybody tonight, and I'm excited because I'm in the mood to paint. It's gonna be awesome. Over there at Oddball Creative, I've seen you've been doing some painting yourself. They look really good lately. It's funny how it comes and goes. Sometimes all I want to do is paint. Sometimes I just want to go outside. That's kind of my go-tos right here. That's all the magic comes from these guys. I'm not pat myself on the back, but I'm on 3 different platforms right now. We have YouTube up the center, we have Facebook over on the right hand side, and Instagram straight up and down. Yeah, dude, art and music does connect us all. I was jamming to relax before I jumped on, and yeah, I need to do some music streams too. We'll see how this goes. I don't have like all the fancy audio stuff. Yo, what's up, Kirk? Where's that doll that was talking all the funny stuff? My Rosie O'Donnell doll, dude. She's in the garage right now, but I'd be happy to bring her out for another stream. I have to send that to some family members, and I've been meaning to. It's too funny. Too much fun. We have too much fun. This is like the greatest thing you can do, right? Like, I'm already seeing 2 of my favorite people out here. This is awesome. Kirk, I'm glad you're here because I'm going to be doing a painting on one of your coffins. So if you're on when that's happening, that'll be cool because I'm pushing it as a collaboration. I think it's really dope. I loved the first Nosferatu. Oh yeah, Rosie O'Donnell is certifiable. She put herself out there like, whoa. Her and her herpes outbreak, it was so gross. But I respect that courage, I guess. That's crazy. She's crazy. Like you said. So, let's see. YouTube is looking pretty strong. Let me check. I think my streaming software can actually like do image to multiple platforms, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm gonna figure that out soon. Someday soon. Give me just one more second, and I'll jump into some into some updates. It's gonna be fun. Let's see what I got that I can actually show off. Oh my goodness. You have it on YouTube? Does it look okay? Okay. Wow, that's better. Kurt, you said you have 12 more plates? Oh, snap. I'm only on number 2 of 12, so it's going to be a minute before I have to restock, but I'm down. They're really great. I'm actually using it as a tripod over here. So, fun fact. They're good for many things. Oh, goodness. Well, I got this whole stack of things here that I would love to show everybody. And let's start with some new prints. So we have some new hot off the press prints on cardstock that are going to be hitting the website really soon. So I'll just go through them real quick. All the cameras. We got Iggy Pop. There's a fun backstory to that one. I think I told it on the last stream. We got Robert Smith over the Thomas Kincaid. These really turned out tremendously. Big hit, Star Wars, AT-AT Walker. Of course, you got Baby Firefly. I realize there's a glare when I bring it from the Instagram cam over to YouTube, but we'll see. Get this over here. Feel kind of like David Letterman a little bit. Vampira, sultry, sexy, Betty Page, King of the Dark, good old Ozzy, one of my favorites, Susie Sue, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and of course Creepshow, The Raft. And some new 8x10s. We did Season of the Witch in 8x10. Oh, my ruler's sticking out in front of all the art. Ozzy Osbourne fans only. Alright, this one is a favorite. Old Godzilla Jesus, the Shin Godzilla look. And man, these just turned out so close to the original paintings. I mean, it helps that Melissa is a A++ graphic designer and production artist, but I mean, our vendor does a tremendous job with the print quality. And they're all on cardstock. They feel amazing. They'll be sold with backing boards and everything like that. We got the Post Malone. This is the one that I painted the confetti over the image on his glass outside of the frame, so the photography actually kind of picked up some of the shadows and gave it some nice dimensionality too. It's the man again. And this one's actually pretty tiny. The piece of wood that it's painted over is only like maybe 4 by 6 inches, and I'm really proud of the likeness of Ozzy in this one. You get real close to his face, it looks pretty dang good. Happy, happy. Alright, we got another one of Iggy, an 8x10. This is great because you can really track in on the girl painting the flowers, picking the flowers back there in the painting. We got the 8x10 of Betty Page looking good in the what looks like maybe Mexico or Italy. Tropical lighting. Vampira. This one is another small one. This is blown up quite a lot larger than the original, but the simplicity in it I think I really dig. It's just very silhouette-y. You know, she had that corseted waist, which is amazingly skinny. The Raft, one of my favorite Creepshow mini featurettes. And finally Susie Sue in the 8x10. And then last but not least, we have a new poster. This is Fluffy from the crate in Creepshow. You get kind of the look peeking out of the box, and you can see some of his teeth and the nails with the blood dripping there. Really proud of this one. Quite a few of these we still hold the originals too, and it's always difficult to part with that kind of stuff, man. It's like the blessing and the curse of the creative process. Just get these kind of in an orderly state. And then set those over here. A little sip. Thanks, man. I appreciate the compliments, everybody. It's something that I was speaking to one of our new friends that we met at the most recent market, who was actually just in the process of being her first market, and we talked a little bit about that feeling of initially putting your work out there into the public and having to thicken your skin, you know, and really prepare yourself for criticism and feedback and things that you don't necessarily ask for as an artist when you're putting your work out there, but it's the nature of the commercial aspect. It's the nature of you know, the what I would think is the progression of your art is through, you know, putting it out there and adapting and changing and evolving. So we all know that growth is painful. I mean, from a very young age. So it's been great to see the process of authoring the work and painting it, and then seeing it, you know, go through the lens of what my wife does as far as like the production aspect, and then the final product that comes back to us as prints. And like this Jason Voorhees, for instance, like with the right vendor, I mean, the closeness and the resemblance to the artwork is just almost indistinguishable. And, you know, this past weekend we've had the fortune of vending our second time at the Market in the Mill out there in Pickens, which at the moment is, you know, very close to the epicenter of the Table Rock fires, and it's visible from there. And what's really cool is the venue is opening their space to people who are forced to evacuate. So um, we're really proud of what we did, what we accomplished, but then we're retroactively proud of being involved with such a cool venue and such cool organizers. The organizers of the event were called, or are called, the Witch's Broom Closet. They have a retail establishment in the mill. They're in the process of apparently outgrowing it, which is amazing. They dropped some hints on Facebook today, and we wish them all the best and all the success because they treat us so very well. And a rising tide raises all ships. You guys hear me say that a lot, I'm sure. So I'll kind of circle back on that stuff since we're really just getting started, and people will probably keep kind of popping into the stream as we go along. But I'm not, you know, great with small talk, and I don't want to give you guys like filler of any kind. But I have some more kind of stories to tell, and some more stuff to share that's a little bit of a retrospective. So one of the things that we like to do as vendors is reward our customers with free, you know, incentives or, you know, small merchandise. And it's incredible what a small gift of swag will do for an opening relationship, right? When you have somebody who's a new customer or a returning customer, it's all about celebrating that moment and giving them added value to the point where they feel the offset of what they paid versus the value they're getting, and that in the end is what will cause a lot of repeat customers and long-term customers, customer relationships. Excuse me. So when we were packing for the last market, the market at the mill, as it always happens, Murphy's Law raises its head out of nowhere, and we knocked over a water onto the table next to the bed where, you know, everybody keeps all their precious stuff. And the water spilled right into the drawer, and we kind of took everything out of the drawer and spread it out. And my wife is such an angel that she has the foresight of saving at least one of all of the Afterlife stickers that we've made to date. So yeah, you joined as a creative profile. Hell yeah, feeling it. Do some creative stuff, man. I know over on Insta, Brian, I know you know Kirk. Kirk's joining us on Facebook, but Crazy Coffins and Oddball Creative, Oddball Records, you guys should definitely link up and be friends because you're both really awesome people. So the first one I have here is a design that that my wife Melissa dreamed up on her own as a surprise to me, and had it made with Sticker Mule, I think is the vendor that we do these with. Oh, Kirk, Brian says you're cool, man. So you guys are already friends. I know. I figured. So she did this. It's like a clip art bat that she kind of rearranged. And one of our favorite motifs is like altering faces with multiple eyes or multiple mouths. So you see this one. He's super cool. I'll probably get him tattooed someday. And then you have the OG kind of gothic font logo. And then after that, we did this little this little die cut Lydia. Oh no. So of course, when you drive a hearse, you have to force it into being every aspect of your personality. And we did this little, there it is, this little die cut. And I made some early YouTube videos with this where I would like put it on camera and be like we're going through the scene. And It's pretty funny. I think it was around Christmas time. It's still up on the channel if you guys want to find it. I like doing stupid stuff like the Rosie O'Donnell stuff. It's I studied animation in school, so that type of stuff comes naturally to me. I'm always just acting stupid stuff out. After the die cut hearse, we did a silhouette. So we had this kind of idea to do a road sign, and it's graphically like just so super strong. I mean, we're kind of programmed to see these shapes as urgent, and we slap this all over, skate parks and stuff, and it really calls out this upcycling symbol too. We thought was really cool. That'll probably be a tattoo someday as well. Um, it's just so different. It's not quite like the recycle. It looks like the recycle thing with a boner or something. It's funny. And Kimberly, I haven't forgotten about you. I just have to make sure that I keep YouTube open. But thanks for jumping in and chatting with Melissa. That's my wife. She's just the most supportive person ever. And then next, we have some twinsies. So we did these as a little bit of a sneak diss, maybe a little bit of revenge, but this is Loquacious, the cat, who never stops talking. And I'll leave it with that. But we did this one. This was a kind of like late night collaboration where I found this meme and Melissa set up the sticker and we kind of sent it off before a midnight deadline. And it was so popular, we did a V2 where she added the Nyan cat kind of like rainbow effect and our QR code. The QR code on this works pretty dang good too. There's just kind of like a minimum size. We did some coasters and it was a little too small. And then most recently we were giving out this mega premium Medusa glitter sticker at the last event. It went over really huge. I think everybody really dug it. Of course, I got one for all the homies. If you guys showed up in the stream, drop me a comment on whichever platform you're on, and I'll make sure you get a Medusa sticker. This piece of art is really cool because it's an overlaid treatment on an old cigar ad that Melissa's had for a very long time. And I think it was for Valentine's Day. I turned it into Medusa with Posca pens and acrylic paint. In the original, there's a dog too that we also gave the Medusa treatment. It's on the website if you guys want to check it out on there. That's a great point, actually. Oh my god. We made some huge updates to the website. I cannot wait for everybody to see them. They're incredible. If you're on YouTube, I can show you on screen. If you guys are on these other platforms, I'll have to see if I can I'll post a screenshot or just go see the website. It's awesome. It's at afterlifestudiosllc.com. And let's see. There we go. I don't think I can actually flip it on these phones, but you'll have to trust me. Bear with me. I'm going to walk through it over on YouTube. If you're able to join over there, please do, because I'll be able to stream the painting over there most effectively too. So yeah, dude, I got stickers for you, man. Absolutely. I can't wait to see you soon, Kirk. We get the home page over here, and this is a responsive design, so I have this kind of like 60/40 on my screen, so it's not one-to-one with the true design, but it's not as influenced as the mobile design either. So there's this really awesome art that my wife created here. It's so freaking cool. I just stare at it when I'm at work. Um, so you land on the portfolio, but we'll start from the left on the nav here, the about page. So this has all been redesigned and then actually redesigned again because it was proved a little bit more difficult to format into this software. But again, you'll praise my wife. She's stayed up pretty much late every night to get this done outside of her own work hours. So she's the best. I love the aesthetic here. It looks like a contact sheet. Really brought me back to some of my early creative days when we would be shooting our portfolios to slide or to 4x5. And I see this Portra 400 was the film that we used back in the 90s. So of course, none of this was actually shot on film. These were all shots that Melissa manicured and crafted right for the website itself. So the about text is all still the same, but it's been the design and layouts all updated. There's some behind the scenes stuff. You have some up close shots of Lydia, some rare interior shots of Lydia where you can see the casket back here. You got the Captain Spaulding doll. This is the one that had sold. You can see there's another one over on the right hand side. That's one that's still available. Kind of postage stamped this creature from the Black Lagoon on the bottom left. I love it. It's so striking on the wavy pattern when it's reduced. Huge fan of that one. And then over there on the right you have a haunted house kind of included, which is critical. It's such a key part of where we came from and where we'll be going later on in this year. Kimberly's still howling about the cat story. Oh my god. Yeah, dude. It's kind of unbelievable when you go back and think about it. Like, I don't know. Such a shame that people ended up like that. Anyway, it caused a great amount of inspiration on our end, and we just keep moving forward, right? That's the lesson there. Just keep moving forward. I'll roll back up to the top of this and we'll jump into the portfolio. Melissa added some of the more recent stuff, so you have the Elvira and Morticia portraits that I did for our new friends at the Witches Market. They turned out really tremendous. I'm so proud of these two. I haven't done many portraits in the recent work. You can see mostly everybody is full body. And for what I'm going to be working on tonight, I was torn between whether I should do a portrait or whether I should do a full body, because the casket, I'm going to shift this a little bit, Kirk. Don't get too dizzy, okay? Just so I can show off your work a little bit. So the casket frames, or the coffin frames, Kirk designed these as trades, and we have one in our on our island out there. Let me jump back over to full screen so I can show this off better to our friends on the YouTube. So these are, countertop trays that you put all your critical stuff in, and then you're not searching for it. I'd put my phone in there too, but I'm streaming on it. But I've painted it out white, of course, just roughly gessoed it to work on tonight with you guys. But you can see here this torch treated grain, and that carries through the whole front of the piece. And I've used some painter's tape to give myself like roughly an inch border around it so I can remove that, and you'll still get that luxurious kind of treatment on the wood. So yeah, so I was torn over whether to do a full body or a portrait, and maybe I'll just ask you guys what you think I'm gonna do. Uh, the idea, I have um, two kind of paintings to choose between. So either we're going to do Barnabas, the Johnny Depp version from Dark Shadows, or we'll do Bela Lugosi because he's just the number one guy, and he should come, I guess, sooner in the series just to help establish to viewers what it's supposed to be. So if you have a minute, just let me know, and before we get started, let me know what you think we should do, Barnabas or Bela Lugosi, and we'll go from there. You know, earlier today, as soon as as soon as I get a set of rules or guidelines, like my mind immediately goes to something outside of those guidelines. And I don't know if it's just me, it's my ADD or something, but I guess I'm all about rule breaking at a certain deep level. So I was wondering to myself kind of quietly, is Wolverine, like the Marvel superhero Wolverine, is he kind of like a vampire? I guess it's just the immortality and like the healing thing, but there's part of me that really wants to do his uh, adamantium laced skeleton in the center of this thing and like highlight the the bright brights and dark darks, like if he's in a grave or buried or something like that. In the comic books, he died kind of like on in a kneeling position, and I wouldn't be doing that here. He doesn't really kneel for anybody. But yeah, not this one. I think. All right, Kirk, man, it was good to see you, dude. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for hanging out this far, and I'll have the video posted so you can catch up after the stream. All right, and we'll see you soon. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Let's think about it. I'll give you guys a minute to hop in or let me know what you think. And in the meantime, let's keep going through the website. I think we have a really deep selection of paintings now. I'm just going to go all the way to the bottom and start working up. So this is stuff that was kind of curated. So down here you can see there's the Medusa, there's the dog. It's so cute. Get like a closer up on it. You can see the dog here behind the watermark. Looks like maybe a pit bull or an American bull terrier. And then, fun factoid, you can see there's my wife. Immortalized back there in stone. She posed for that in our kitchen, and I took some reference photos. And I used this little smoke cloud to kind of like blend all of the background elements out. And Melissa helps me cover up some of the stuff there in the top right. So this you can see smoke plantista. I guess it's a tobacco or a cigar, and I just thought that was too cool. And now she is our stickers. Isn't that fun? So I guess if there's any other vendors out there, Kimberly, if you're still chilling, that's one thing that I would definitely recommend is try and find ways to multiply the value and the investment in your art. So it's ways that you can repurpose your art into prints, but then also into other media like stickers and t-shirts and stuff like that. Oh, snap. I have some t-shirts to show you guys too. Hang on a second. So you're gonna trip. These turned out so well. We did a few new designs. Here's the Season of the Witch, Halloween 3 on a black t-shirt, and the orange really jumps out you know. And then over here you have the skull against the black and the red balloon. Really turned out awesome. Super excited to buy it. Show it over here to our friends on Facebook. Say what? We generally start with that extra large, just because it's the most universal kind of size out there. Some people are more comfortable with baggy clothes. This is a returning classic. Our Lord and Savior Kurt Cobain. And this is one that I wore myself to our most recent market. You know, there was an assembly of Christian protesters, and you know, I grew up Catholic. I have no problems with Christianity, but I also, you know, I don't push my beliefs or feelings about anybody else's religions to them or upon them, but they felt the need to give up their Saturday and go down there and yell at people from the side of the road. Cool. Check this one out. Here is my Captain Spaulding on bright blood red t-shirt. Oh my god, it really pops. Like this one, I don't know. I might need to keep this one because this is insane. It's so cool. Right? The tie and everything, and the makeup really jumps off the tee. And of course, what would red and blood be without our boy Jason Voorhees? Check this one out. This would look really good on me. I'd probably do black long sleeve under that too. Right? And even though it's a huge graphic, it's not like super thick. Like you don't have, I guess what you would do in a silk screen is just block this all with white first and then print colors on top. But I guess this is a direct garment print, so it's not gonna like stick to you or be anything like that like would in the old days. So look at all that. It's like a whole freaking selection of all kinds of cool stuff. And this is literally just like Melissa's creativity multiplying the return that we can get on the art that we create, right? All right, well, I think I'm going to use this moment to get the cam rearranged. Thank you so much, Kimberly. I appreciate those kind words. We're really proud of them, and we really hope that everybody likes them. You know, it's one of those things where it's a real test of an art if it can be put into something as commercial as a t-shirt and something that somebody's going to want to wear on them. You know, it's a really cool way to bond with your audience, and yeah, I can't wait to see what else kind of happens. Oh, what's up, Nicole? Did you see we did the Halloween 3? Check it out. We'll have to get one in size tiny for you, though. I bet this you'd probably be able to camp in this thing. But we have prints too, so they're ready. I know you were asking for them, and we did not let that slide. Check it out. We have 8x10s and 5x7s somewhere. Whoop whoop! Huh. It's like this and this and the t-shirt. We should do, maybe we could do a bundle on the website. That would be a good way to get some of that stuff out there and rolling. Uh, Frank said, "Do we have any T-shirts of the creature?" No, not just yet. But he's high on the list. If you're thinking of that's something that you might want, let us know what color T-shirt you would want, and we can work together to get you perfectly sized and everything. Oh yeah, Melissa's reminded me that we had one made for Nolan's birthday. We'll have to put that one out there.
Oh, you want to show the Nolan shirt?
Yeah, you want to toss it to me? We can give you a look at what the creature looks like on a tiny T-shirt. So we can do kid sizes as well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Check it out. Hey. Isn't that fun? Turns out really cool. I think I'm going to start putting this one on some skateboards
Yes.
because it would really lend itself. Totally lend itself to that form. Alright, let me see how I can get this set up to do some painting. And bear with me. Nicole, if you're on Facebook, if you want to jump over to YouTube, and you can, let me know. Otherwise, I will figure out how to flip the camera and do this on Facebook Live as well. Well, I think I can. Just give me a moment, and if this gets too shaky, you could navigate away and come back in 5 minutes or something. On YouTube, I'm just going to throw up a little intermission, and please don't anybody go anywhere, and I'll be right back with some live painting. We'll figure out. Drop me in the comments if you guys have decided whether you'd want to see Barnabas, aka Johnny Depp from Dark Shadows, or Bela Lugosi, the classic, the icon. Either way, we're gonna have some fun. We'll do some painting. All right, and I'll be right back. Too close. Move this backpack out of the way. This looks so off kilter. Well, that's really awesome. Thanks, Nicole, for jumping over to Facebook or to YouTube. Let's see. I think. Give me one more second. It looks like I. There we go. I think we're back. Can you see me? Yeah, I think you can see me. Alright, so this is going to be better. Thanks for swapping over to YouTube. I appreciate that, Nicole. I've given myself quite the rat's nest of wires and stuff down here, but this is going to prove to be much better. So that's 2 votes for the original Barnabas, huh? Let's see, so his name is Barnabas Collins Jonathan Freed from the original Dark Shadows TV series. Now, I could totally do this guy. I think that's what you guys want to see. I think that's what I should do. So let's do it. That would be interesting, actually, because then I can show it next to the Johnny Depp version of the character if we go there as one of the 12. So that'll be fun. Let's jump in and see. I'll get some references here. He has a great look. I can see the tip of the hat with the bangs in the Johnny Depp rendition. Got the high collar, kind of like a waistcoat, and he has the cane. Has a wolf's head on it, maybe? Looks like that. Well, let's see what we can do. So, I think maybe we'll go with more of a bust on this one. Yeah, let's try it that way. Alright, let me see if I can get a little bit closer without disturbing the camera. I'll get this reference kind of squared away. He looks kind of better baring his fangs. What do you guys think? I think baring his fangs would be good. Yeah, let's do fangs out. Trying to get a good look at his clothing also. Oh, this is a good one. Dark Shadows, portrait on canvas. Well, yeah, alright, we're going for it. We're going to do portrait. I'll just kind of get the rudiments kind of set up.
bit of a wider top of the head. His eyes kind of above the median here. It looks like he's quite swallowed up by a collar. With a very intricate old style tie. He's got kind of a furry collar. Goes up almost ear level. Well, that's not really centered, is it? Let's move him over a little bit more. Up the symmetry. And then we need his hand and this ring that he, some sort of an onyx. And he adorns his cane with that hand. His fingers wrapped under. Get his thumb on the outside of the cane. Yeah, something like that. Maybe we'll be able to get some definition into the wolf's head. And let's see. Maybe you guys can't see that shape of that head too well. Maybe if I can move a light source over to this side of the canvas, we'll get a little better visibility for you guys here. Does that help or hurt? I succeeded in making it look a little worse. Well, once we get into paint, it'll become much more obvious. All fangs, all the time. I agree. I think that's great maneuver. Alright, I'm going to work that in. Let's jump over. So he's got quite a very interesting shape to his mouth. It's like almost like a smiley face's mouth, but definitely a mouth full of teeth. As far as vampires go, he's got a great orthodontist. His nose really takes on the shape of the grin, doesn't it? Looks like some very dramatic eyebrows on this gentleman as well. He's almost got a little bit of Wolverine in him right now. Look at that. Those great lower teeth. So, forehead definitely has a shape to it. He's got this very British jaw. Huh? Lots of character in this guy's face. A great cleft in his chin. His lips pulled very tight in his smile. With these laugh lines here from his nose. We don't get much of an upper lip either. See if you kids at home can see where I'm at so far. Oh, we have like some glare or something. That just isn't gonna do. Maybe if we just bear with me, I'm gonna get a little busy here for a second. Maybe I can find a better. There we go. Now I can actually see something. Alright, so now you can kind of see where I was at. The stereotypical kind of open mouth, smiley face look, with his nose really dictating the shape of the smile here. Yeah, that's much better. So we have a very low side part. He's got a top, round top of the head with some like feathered back. Hair kind of encroaching on the top of his ears. Let's raise that collar up a bit more. And then it looks like he's got those super recognizable, almost like finger waves here in his bangs. Black ring. Top of the cane. And then yeah, it looks like the top of the cane definitely has a wolf's head. So we'll just make a little note of that. Something like that. His thumb. knuckle before shortening that finger a little bit. And these other knuckles wrapping under here. One, two, three, four. All right, fun with perspective. I love drawing hands. A lot of people avoid them, but I find a lot of pleasure. This is like a simple band on this thing, nothing fancy. And snake coming down, pretty much in line. Very proper tie. Yeah, that's looking good. I'm happy that we went with the portrait. So you guys are seeing how this is kind of coming along out there. Yeah, thanks for bearing with me. Well, it was kind of hard to see. I know that's not exactly ideal. But yeah, that looks better. I think he's coming through there. Just flesh out that tie, and then we'll start laying up some paint too. Alright, so beneath the tie he has a jacket. Boy, it's been so long since I put on a nice shirt and tie. Something so satisfying about it. Alright, and this is gonna be furry. Let's just make a kind of visual note that I shouldn't spend a lot of time making that even. It would be great to have the portrait behind him. Well, I think that's in a good spot. I'm guessing that this one is going to be black and white. So let me just get that kind of set up here. And I'll start laying down some shadows. Some shadows in the dark shadows. Already got paint on myself. Story of my life. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is jump in and knock that background all the way back. So this is going to go black for now. I'll probably go back after the broadcast and turn this into a time lapse. So if this starts to run long or you have to go somewhere, rest assured you'll be able to see the whole piece whenever you decide to come back on. So I'm so excited that everybody joined in. I always look forward to doing these broadcasts so much. I started learning about live streaming at my last job, and while I was in that role, I couldn't really do what I wanted to as far as creating content, and we've just been having so much fun creating all this content supporting Afterlife now, and it feels so much better to have the equity in it as opposed to giving that all up for whatever legal NDA type thing I was beholden to. No longer. So the next thing looks like his suit beneath the coat is like our neutral color. So I have like a 50% gray here, and I'm just gonna block that out next. You know, being free with the outline, because I'm gonna come back eventually and cover and alter and push and pull forms kind of to and fro in the picture plane. But we'll get the suit blocked out, let it kind of frame the cane down here. And then probably our next value after that is going to be the tie, because it looks like his coat is nearly black, so the cane is definitely black. Let's make sure we get that in there right away, because that's going to inform our perspective a whole bunch by being the darkest thing and up close to the camera, or to the viewer more accurately. And the ring is going to be our third little pop. So my high school art teacher taught me a very valuable lesson in painting, and that's when you have a color in one place, you should pretty much repeat that color in at least 3 other places. We're going to let his eyes be jet black for now. Hey, look guys, we're painters. It's already a painting, huh? It's so much fun. It's so easy to get intimidated by the process, but if you give yourself the freedom to suck, you can jump on in and just let it be fluid in some way or another. Let it happen, you know? So I'm going to mix up somewhere in the neighborhood of like a 70% black here. And we'll call this the hair color for now. It's going to be pretty much black, but we're going to do a lot of textury highlighting things there with the individual hairs and stuff. So sorry if I block y'all's view at the moment. I'm just going to go ahead and get this all popped on top there. He's got these cool wispies. We'll worry about the ears later. I'll try and use the brush's shape to get these bangs in there. And then it looks like when he's in his vampire form, his eyebrows are pretty much encapsulate his eyes. There's some very extreme makeup happening in my reference, so we'll let that be that color too. And then we'll pull it down to his tie, which looks like it has a great deal of stripes in my references, but we'll see. We'll see if we need them or not. Stripes might be kind of distracting right here in the center of the painting, or it might be kind of nice right here in the center. I don't know. I don't quite know. Well, contrary to what I said earlier, I'm going to make his coat a lighter shade of gray because it's furry. I'm not going to go as black as I thought it would originally. But I'll show you how and why too, because I'm going to add a lot of detail to this fur texture. So this will just truly represent a mid-tone for me to put lights and darks both on top of this. I'll bring it out to his vest there. On this side. Did I mix enough? I don't know. I'm just kind of mixing these colors on the fly, so. This is funny because I did Nosferatu in black and white, and it's looking like here comes another black and white image in this series. I guess there's probably going to be quite a few. I'll have to figure out a way to squeeze Vincent Price into this series, I think. Maybe like The Last Man on Earth or something. I don't know. Does he play an undead character anywhere? Do you guys know? Let me know in the chat, and I'll check back in a second to see if there's something that I'm missing. But I can't quite think off the top of my head if Vincent Price has ever played an undead character. So from the angle, it looks like we're not going to see much of his sleeve, so I'll just leave his wrist white for now. Hey, it's kind of already, it's happening. Yeah. I'll have to just keep pushing forward with this one. That's the key. Always push forward in the work. Try not to get stagnant and sit with it, and then your critical mind starts working. So I think here we'll accentuate the collar by blending the meat of the coat into black. There we go. I like that. Alright, so now we'll swing to the other end of the spectrum, and his shirt is going to remain pretty much white. I've already tainted the well here with my paint, but I think in actuality his skin tone will be lighter than the shirt color, so I'll go ahead, paint in the collar in this close to white, light gray. And then we'll create an even lighter color for the skin tone. And I should have gotten a second water for my lights, but we didn't. So, oh no. You guys see that? I almost dripped right on the canvas. So I'm really loving these pieces from my buddy Kirk. He's got a lot going on, but his creativity is just unrelenting. And talk about salt of the earth, one of the nicest guys I think I've met since we've moved to South Carolina, which is saying a lot because we've met quite a few really great people, but Kirk lands firmly at the top of the list in my book. So we're just going to go right over some of these hand-drawn details and stuff and start letting the paint be the focus. This is a challenging step for me because I'm such a draftsman with my pencil work and my line work. And like recently when I did those portraits of Elvira and Morticia, the pencil work was pretty much completely buried under the paint. So I remember sitting down and actually redrawing a lot of that artwork on top of the paint as I went, just so I could keep the resemblance as close to the actresses that I could. It's much harder when you're working with a female subject because people's eye judges the work on a different level with the female form. I truly believe we're just so critical on our women these days. It's horrible, actually. How's everybody doing out there? Are people still alive? Let me hop in and see. Vincent Price was a vampire in the Monster Club. Oh, heck yeah. Alright, Nicole. I can't wait to see you guys again. Thanks for popping into the stream. And yeah, I'll have the full video posted. We'll see if we go all the way start to finish tonight or if it's something that I do in a second installment. Because I just realized that it's already 11 o'clock and I think I have to report to work at 6 or 7 a.m. That's what I signed up for because I'm a baker. The whites of the eyes. He's already looking cool. It's got a kind of a comic book vibe to it, and I'm feeling it so far. So now you'll see I have pretty much the whole canvas covered in what I would consider like the middle tone values. Just gonna fill in this neck here, partway between the chin and the collar. So now that it's like completely covered with midtones, I'm going to start by adding layers of shadow and then layers of highlights and layers of shadow and then layers of highlights, and pushing and pulling between the foreground and the background. And it's time for us to determine a light source, which I think is best kind of like somewhere up here in this area. So we'll have a slight sideways angle on the shadows of our dark shadows, just to make it more interesting than if the light source was straight up the middle. Let's preserve the shape of the ring. The most important thing right now are kind of basic shapes, and I tend to complete the paintings with outlines last. For me, that just works best when you take this type of more geometric approach. So the first thing I want to do is lay in some shapes here to denote this fur that apparently his jacket is collared with. So change over to a smaller brush to get the job done. When you're washing your brushes, A, it's important to change your water often, but B, to preserve your brush and keep a point on the tip. Once it's clean, and hopefully you have some clean water, you take your paintbrush and you roll it in your mouth on your tongue, and you kind of coat that with a thin layer of saliva, which is super gross, but when it dries, it'll keep your brush super pointy, as opposed to looking like a rag-headed doll like that you can see. It works pretty good. You have to learn kind of the ins and outs of it, but your paint water shouldn't look like that. I'm gonna go change that out, and I'll be right back. Much better. So my slightly thinner brush is going to get a pretty thin dark gray and just squiggle this out right up to the edges, thick and thin, whatever, just so I know at a glance that this is supposed to be an uneven, textured and have some fun with it, right? Jump in, don't be so controlling. You'll see some really great natural brush strokes happening here. Get down close to the other features, right up against the border of the collar. Some happy little fur. And I'm liking this color, so remember what I said, we're going to repeat this color a few times. So I'm going to go ahead and shadow his eyes in this nice dark gray. let the evil shine through, right? And I was telling you about that slight angle. Get a shadow under the nose. And then these accentuated laugh lines. Huh, that almost resembles the Johnny Depp character, so I feel like we're doing our job here. Get underneath the chin. Square this off. Hey, that's looking good. I'll shape the collar. And we'll use this to kind of outline the shape of the jacket too. And it's like a three-piece suit, I guess. Of sorts, right? This more furry job down here. Ooh, what happened there? My brush is kind of splitting. This is me wanting to draw. And of course, let's make sure we have all the shapes kind of in line with what we need. That's looking good. I'll use this dark gray to kind of maintain this hand. Ring, finger. That's the knuckle. And these as they fold under. Alright, I'm happy with it. Let's bring this back up. And I'll have to straighten that out somehow. Get some knuckles happening. At least that white doesn't quite cut it. But it's gonna have to. He's got some great age to his face, which is nice because Johnny Depp is like devoid of age in his face, but oh god, that's too much. We'll have quite a bit to play with as far as character and lines here. We'll let the paint do what paint does. Try not to be too dear to it. So So the fur has like some sheen to it, I guess you could say. Let's try and tell the story of the direction of our light source with that. I'm kind of off the reservation with my references, but I think it's really going to add up in the end here. Still kicking. Cool collar. Thanks, dude. Yeah, it's great. I appreciate you guys sticking around in the late night. It's after 11 o'clock, but this is going swimmingly. Alright, so we have a little bit of emergence of some highlights and some lowlights. And now I'm going to go back with some shadow. And it's just kind of again, a repetition and a layering. But ultimately, we want this collar to be very dark, because in the show it looks basically black. And sometimes when I have highlights in place like that, I'll get some very thin paint and knock them down altogether. So I know the location, but we're not necessarily getting a whole lot of contrast. So now you can see he starts to fall back into the painting again. And the actor actually has some very bushy eyebrows, so let's make sure that we preserve that too. We get a shadow on the tie, way into the black area here. And I think the cane is quite lacquered, so let's get with highly reflective highlight onto the cane there. And again, the back of his hand. Knuckles and that foreshortening too has to happen. And one of the toughest things is to let the paintbrush kind of have a say when you really want to hold tight to the references, or and just kind of keep pushing and pulling. All right. Now we'll jump back into some of these smaller details. This shirt. Yeah, see. Much happier medium there. Things start to look more like a hierarchy. That helps the cane kind of pop to the front too. Bring that right up to the line of the hand. Sweet. Digging it. Now let's take things down a level here and jump in the teeth real quick. So he's got accentuated kind of canines. Then a very straight bite. These wrinkles. Oh yeah, now we're getting somewhere. And these actually come right around the other side too, don't they? Some people are just gifted with such character in their faces, huh? These days we have so much manicure that you don't see a whole lot of this type of personality in actors anymore. It's kind of nice to see. Well, you guys are still here. Let's chat a little bit. Let me open up the chat on my end and see what everybody's got going on. Oh, cool. Third shift, hey. Looking great, thank you. I appreciate that. When I was a kid, my mom used to work third shift, so I didn't have a whole lot of supervision overnight. We'll get there in the end. Sometimes there's a point when the painting looks like takes a turn and goes to pot, but again, you just gotta keep it moving forward. So his eyes are really they're shrouded in shadow here. Definitely got some eyebrows on him. Huh. I can relate. And that's kind of dirtied up my light. It's just about time to clean this palette. I almost rarely ever do, but it's getting pretty ducky. Let's not close off that winning smile too much. Make sure there's not too big of a disparity between the size of the teeth also. I don't know if I can get much whiter for the tip of his nose, but I have to try. Alright, so now we're going to do a little bit more refined shapes here underneath the eyes. And we'll really start to get a lot more detail. Try and see what I can do about the perspective on this hand. It's right up against us, so this is going to have to be a good hand. Otherwise, it's going to really detract from the rest of the piece. So, get like a nice natural follow of the arch of these knuckles here. It's really at a kind of like a twist. So I'm going to have some shadows on the back side here. but not much. And over the top of this knuckle. This is silver of the king has to come from the back to the front. And behind the head of the wolf here. Shouldn't be doing that with that paint brush though. Since we brightened the cane, I'm going to push some of these darker colors out of the back. Keep up my pushing and pulling. Get this nice and thin, maybe well. Just totally shadow all of that down there. That's really going to push that hand upward. Check that out. Check that out. Oh, digging it. Whoop. Alright, let's revisit the top of that head. He's looking a little short stacked right now. That's not what we want. We want a nice dome up here. So that's looking good. And it looks like from what I can see in the reference that I have pulled up here, they're using like really harsh lighting on this guy on set, so the hair is going to have a great deal of like reflectivity on it as well. Make sure that it stays properly winged out. You work so hard on it. Well, those didn't quite come out as I wanted them shaped, but we can always just rein it in a little bit with a finer brush. Put a nice fancy little point on those there. Oh, it's looking better. Ugh, this thing is soaked. Look at that. Alright, now let's attack this fur. I'm gonna go ahead and find a brush that I don't really care too much about anymore. Oh wait, here's a nice chisel. That's gonna do us some nice textury things. Let's see. What can we pick up just randomly off the palette here? Sweet, this is working good. Again, it's kind of like you're painting over each time, but the layers, even though it's not an oil paint medium, they do really start to add up when you have complex layers one over another. I will start to slightly outline some things, because we're almost at a point where we're going to aspire to tighten things up a little bit, which is a tricky spot, because you definitely don't want to get too tight until the very, very end. But yes, now that's looking good. Looking pretty stoked. How's it translating to you guys out there? Can you see what I'm up to? Oh, I got a whole rat's nest of cables here underneath my mouse, so keep getting a little bit more detailed and a little bit more linear as we go. Well, let's see here. Hmm. Alright, now let's do some fun, detail-y stuff. I'm gonna start walking in some of these directions of this hair. So judging from the art that I see here, is definitely a signature to the character. When you're doing some more fine line drawings, it becomes more about like the thinness and thickness of the paint as opposed to the control of the brush or the control of the paint in a more traditional way. So keeping the paint thinned really helps get these kind of like fingery individual hairlines all kind of like fleshed out. One of my favorite comic book artists from back in the day, and that's really all I wanted to do. His name is Bernie Wrightson, and he's notorious for inking and coloring his comic book art with a brush, and really a huge reason why it became the gold standard of comic books back in the 80s and 90s. It demonstrated a level of attention to detail and overall care in the art that's just can't really be duplicated with a pen per se. Some people use like a hybrid of the two. It looks more like a crow quill or something like that. Those are very hard to control though. It never really became my bag. And I mean, his hair sweeps like all the way from one side of his head to the other. Now when you start adding the kind of like line details, you really start to get the character to express themselves in the painting. Kind of join you. Jeez. Well, that got a lot heavier than I wanted it to, but let's see. It's got some great crow's feet. Again, the stuff that the actors just don't let themselves have anymore. Let's outline some of his fantastic jawline. This is when I start to hold my breath a little bit. And although they seem very dark, I'm going to go in with multiple additional levels and highlights and shadows and stuff. So you have to let the details kind of reveal themselves. Make things present themselves more as hair. And then begin to draw the shapes back in. Hey, it's working. Let's try not to get too deer on the wolf, but definitely gonna have to look like what it is. Edge work here on this lacquered highlight. Well, it's nice to get a straight line, but it's also to be kind of as straight as a hand can get it, so it doesn't look too, again, like a draftsperson did it. Let the edge of the fur be irregular. All the way down the front of the coat. That's looking exciting. Now it's really starting to look like a rendered character. How his ears kind of roll up into the hair here. Feeling it so far so good. Some very distinct lines there in the hand. So this wolf has kind of like a mane on it. And the eyes recess a little bit. I don't see too much of ears on the thing, but let's get not too carried away with the detail. Oh boy. Starting to look like a villain. Alright, now the opposite. We're going to get a really light, near white, and start to pop. Some individual hair kind of fibers. See, and now it really starts to push and pull and create some interest. which is one of the biggest things. You want somebody's eyes to have places to go and things to do, apart from just understanding the look of the character. So at a certain point it becomes less of a quest for realism and more of like an impression, I guess. So now I'm really longing for some more contrast here in the nose. It's gonna be tough to get a shape out of that. Hi Maggie. How you doing, girl? I appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you. Nice to see you. I think she's coming to ask me to go to bed. I'm really liking it. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. This is probably the first like true live painting that I've done. It's been actually quite an interesting learning from both a technological standpoint. I've never really gone down this road. That's too dark. That's nice. I'm liking that. That's kind of what I wanted the fur to turn into. So you see I got a nice almost like wash layer that's allowing a lot of that inner detail to kind of pop through the midtones. I don't normally do blending on the media, but that got a little darker than I wanted, so let's see. I'll have to smoothen it out. Okay, now I gotta find some up-close picture of this cane here. Okay, I see. Let's make this look more chrome here. That's where the ear comes into play. Looks like this all falls off the canvas in the end anyway, but we'll put it in. And then see what happens when we remove the tape here in a minute. Doing a little bit of edge work here with some whites. Have a little bit more of like a flayed, like a really kind of destroyed brush. Look at this guy. He looks pretty haggard. Oh, that's not it. This is almost like a dry brushing technique going on here.
How's it going, Mike?
It's going good, thanks. Getting kind of hungry myself. Well, it's looking pretty good to me so far, so good. I'm liking the coat, I'm liking the pose. Now I think I need a little bit more dark shadows. Ha 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 ha. Let's see what we can get with a nice thin black. Okay. Push this arm. Get something back behind this wolf's head. I'm like a goth Bob Ross. Oh, that's an amazing comment. I'm totally gonna go with that one. Oh, you're crocheting while you're doing it? This is sick. We're like, we're working together. I love that. Did come a long way. I like the way it got so defined. Thanks, Frank. Thanks for noticing. It's like a process, and at some points, it's like you really want to stop or call it, but then it's your job to kind of like keep pressing forward and layering up, and it becomes a lot of a journey, which is one of the things that I enjoy most about painting and art. I appreciate you guys sticking around to the late hour. But it's almost time to sign it, I think. I don't know. I'm going to pull up the reference again and see. Maybe I can add a little bit more shadow into the face. I feel like it's very just one-dimensional there.
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah, you liking it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
You're the best, babe.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I think the actor has some much more pronounced cheekbones than I'm giving him credit for. He's got kind of like a jowl. It's very British of him. And this could be much more interesting on that side of his face there. And sometimes you just gotta take a leap into creating something that's more interesting visually. Be willing to push it and pull it and grab it by the horns. And he's a vampire, he's not supposed to look pretty at the end of the day, right? That's not the goal. That adds a lot more drama. Now I'm going to break out the old markers and see what we can do with these guys. Now, the markers like to leak on you, so I'm going to proceed with caution. But it should allow us to get some really nice line work in the places that it needs it. Get kind of really controlled with this thing. looks a little bit more like the shape of this guy's face. Aha. Let's get rid of this last tooth back here. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Definitely feeling that much. Looks like I need to kind of adjust the shape of the end of his nose here a little bit more. Oh, I'm sorry I'm not talking too much. I'm really putting a lot of thought into this, so these kind of final steps here, because adding more shadow
Slightly changed the dynamic in a way that I wasn't expecting,
but I know it's what it needed. But at the same time, I want to kind of bring it back a little bit lighter. Especially up here in the forehead area. And just kind of blend that out a little bit more. Yeah, that's moving in the right direction. What do you guys think? There's a little bit of like Rembrandt here. Like the eyes. Wow, that got super sinister all of a sudden. Look at that. That's awesome. sector have a mole, maybe? It's hard to see, but it looks like he may. No, I guess not. It's like a trick of the light in my reference here. Well, he's almost there. I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. I'm getting really close to signing my name on him. Let's see. I'm gonna bust out the white pen and do a little bit of fiddly detail on here. Let's see if I can find the right one. Nope. That's the fat one. No, fat one. There we go. So we'll do some like fur little get very comic book illustrator here with it, but I think it needs this type of texture. You can't really get too easily with a brush. These add a nice flip to the end of certain line widths that really push something like a fur texture way over the top. It starts to nail it. I hope you guys see. It starts to come through. Yeah, it's totally giving fur. Right? That's all on our tape, so none of that handle is really going to show up too well, but we'll see what we're left with. At the end of the day, we don't want the cane to be a super important part of rendering. Where's our original portrait reference? This one? I'll find some place down here and do a little my signature. Stick in the black and white beam. Nice little sub shadow on that. And I think we did it. I think that. Let's see if I can get that a better straight on look for you guys. Let's take off this painter's tape and see what we're left with there. And then we'll know if we did a good job or not. I love it. And there we have it. Hey. Digging it. Sorry about the angle here. I don't know what's up with my truck. It kind of stinks. Well, it's even worse, but straighten it out for the viewers at home. Alright, good night everybody. Thanks again for sticking around. 12:30. Oh goodness, that escalated quickly. I will see you guys soon. I'll see you on the socials. I'll post this up on Instagram in the morning. And have a good night, guys. I really appreciate y'all hanging.